Yo, Sax, I hear you always got some interesting stuff on your mind. That's fine. What do you be thinking about? This right here. Welcome to my new series, Origins of Folklore, Part 1, The Beginning of the Wendigo. Now this folklore derived from Algonquian, a group of indigenous people from Canada and northeastern United States. And this legend originates from spiritual beliefs. This malevolent spirit creature is associated with cannibalism and famine. Now it is said that these creatures used to be human, but through extreme hunger and greed, well, that led to cannibalism. And this triggered the physical transformation into a spiritual monstrosity. So dated back in the 17th century is the earliest written account recorded, and this was recorded by Jesuit missionaries. Now this evil spirit is said to possess, causing its victim unquenchable hunger, along with the immense urge to eat human flesh. So beware, and be sure to remember, if you catch a glimpse of a giant humanoid creature, often preceded by an undescribable foul stench and sudden cold chills, accompanied by deep feelings of dread, well, get away fast, as this might be your last day, at least in any recognizable form. And as a side note, I'd like to toss in this interesting fact. In modern psychiatry, there's actually a disorder known as Wendigo psychosis, with symptoms such as intense cravings for human meat and the internal fear of becoming a cannibal, even having never eaten human meat before. So if this in any way describes you, please do not come to my house for dinner, even if I give you the invite, because you just may be the very next Swift Runner. Well, who was Swift Runner? I'm glad you asked. He was just a Cree man from Alberta, Canada, who killed and ate his entire family in 1839. He was said and believed to be possessed by the Wendigo. This is the Origins of Folklore, episode number 2. Let's go. Hey, yo, Sax, I hear you always got some interesting stuff on your mind. That's fire. What do you be thinking about? This right here.
Hello.
So you've got you a few knocks at your door?
Says, are you there, honey? Open the door for mommy.
You hear the voice of a family member you know is not there?
She knows it's not her mom.
Do yourself a favor. Don't answer it, because it just may be a spirit creature on the other side, known as the mimic. So this folklore creature is also been said to be able to shapeshift, taking the shape of any inanimate object, as well as human beings, as well as mimicking the voice of loved ones.
Hello.
And trying to lure you into a trap. Some people believe it's a direct link to Japanese folklore. In this Japanese folklore, inanimate objects come to life and take victims. And this was known as tsukumagami. Although shape-shifting and the mimicking of voices cover a vast span of folklore creatures and spirits such as skinwalkers or doppelgangers. And the physical characteristics of the mimic most notably discussed is actually a rendition of Dungeons and Dragons, at least as far as specific characteristics are concerned. However, do not be fooled, because the mimic is not a game. Mimics are known to be malevolent beings that take on the form of people. Crossing a mimic's path most certainly brings forth misfortune and foretelling of impending doom. It is said that if you ever hear the voice of something speaking to you in the voice of someone that you know, but you also know is not around,
if you hear this in the Appalachian Mountains, run.
Never, ever speak back. Now, although the lore of the mimic is worldwide, it was highly popularized by the Appalachian folklore.
Get up here, Carly! Get up here, Carly!
The Appalachian Mountains are hands down one of the most mysterious, creepy, interesting, intriguing, and dangerous places to be, especially alone, especially at night, especially at night. It's also quite common knowledge for Appalachian folk that in the mountains, you never, ever go to a voice calling you. You never try to go save that voice in the background that sounds like a damsel in distress. You never go try to save that baby that you can hear crying. You leave the saving to the authorities, and you always close your blinds at night. Origins of Folklore, Part 3, Dogman. Everyone knows that a dog is a man's best friend. But did you know that a dogman is no man's friend? That's right, a terrifying, jaw-dropping, bipedal creature with the structure of a hairy bodybuilder, the stank of a corpse, the head of a wolf, and a mouth full of razor-sharp teeth. Folklore of Dogman has very strong roots in the Native American legends. However, much older stories can be found dated back to ancient Greek and Roman writings describing people with dog-like heads. Although the Dogman has very similar folklore to the legend of the werewolf, they have very distinct differences. The Dogman sighting of Michigan drastically aided in the modern popularizing of this particular folklore. When the song The Legend was released in 1987 by DJ Steve Cook of WTCM FM in Traverse City, Michigan, describing a creature called the Dogman, calls flooded the radio waves giving reports of sightings. The key differences between the werewolf and the Dogman include their stature, different sizes. The Dogman much larger, werewolves more humanoid, the Dogman much more primal and animalistic, although both dangerous, seem to be a lot more nefarious than just the werewolf. The Dogman also not known for shape-shifting.
An unknown figure walking around a perimeter fence at the Amarillo Zoo. The creature is wolf-like, I guess.
Even Alexander the Great said to have fought the Dogman in India. The explorer Marco Polo wrote about seeing dogmen. 1887 was the year of the first reported sighting, and this report came in from a Michigan lumberjack. And in 1937, in Paris, Michigan, a man reported being attacked by a pack of wild dogs. One that stood bipedal, 2 legs, with a head of a wolf and a body of a man. Seems to be more than just folklore, if you ask me. Right. Everyone knows that a dog is a man's best friend. Hey, yo, Sax, I hear you always got some interesting stuff on your mind. That's fire. What do you be thinking about? This right here. Origins of Folklore, Part 4, the Stikini. Native American tribes, Seminole and Muskogee, have some folklore all of their own. This entity is known as the Stikini. These shape-shifting witches known to be in human form by day and by creature owl form by night, looking for the hearts of humans. The Stikini is said to have once been human, that through evil practices and doing wrong and curses to the world have eventually morphed into a non-human entity. This entity is also often referred to as the man owl, living just to snatch its next heart. Now, unfortunately for me, this folklore is dangerously close to where I'm about to be homesteading my land. The Sasquatch, I think I'm cool with. This entity, a little different ballgame. Now, the more evil the Stikini bestows on people in the world, the more powerful it gets. By day, this entity blends seamlessly into the crowd. You would never know it was not a human. There's only two known ways to kill this creature. You must first locate its entrails. It is said to vomit out its insides as it begins to transform into its night form, this way to bind itself to this world so it can return in human form. Once you have located these entrails, usually up high, once located, the entrails need to be burned or fed to animals. The only other way is to take them and hide them from the Stikini so it cannot find it before day, thus killing it. It is said that these stories may have been heavily impacted or influenced by African tribes and their folklore through cultural exchange. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more of my origins of folklore. Hey, yo, Sax, I hear you always got some interesting stuff on your mind. That's fine. What do you be thinking about? This right here. Cheers. The year was 1995. Livestock kept mysteriously coming up unalived, drained of all their blood. None of the farmers knew what could be causing this mysterious death of these animals. And this will be the start of a brand new folklore, the Chupacabra. So this folklore originates out of Puerto Rico, and the Spanish translation translates into goat sucker. Sightings of this bipedal reptilian-like creature stretch from as far as southwest United States all the way to China. It's often described to have spines with a canine-like mangy look and always with fangs. So the first documentary reports of the Chupacabra in 1995 came out of Puerto Rico in a town called Canavanes. Animals were continually being found dead with small puncture holes drained of all their blood. This creature has also been dubbed the Mocha Vampire. On February 25th, 1975, Mocha, Puerto Rico will wake up to a shocking revelation that something else was with them. They were not alone. That predates the name Chupacabras by 20 years. The local townfolk woke up to eerie death sweeping the livestock of their town. 15 cows, 3 goats, 2 geese, and 1 pig were all discovered dead and drained of all of their blood. And even stranger, they all had the identical drain holes, puncture holes, wounds, whatever you would like to call them. Now, if you wish to put your faith in the mainstream scientific explanation of this, I can explain to you what they say it is. Now, the actual scientific explanation for this is that it's caused by a virus known as canine hematophagic virus, or CHV. They say it affects its host, such as canines and other animals, turning them into something that could be considered an entirely new organism because of the vast physical transformation that happens in its host. Well, y'all, the good news is I didn't find much about the Chupacabra draining human fluids, so I guess I'm good with that. Don't forget to like, comment, and share for more content like this.